We've added ourselves as a propaganda machine. We hate women.
Olympic level mental gymnastics. This is how we rationalize.
Yeah, we are a propaganda machine. We hate mixed.
Who are we? We are players that were never dirty, so we can't even be cold washed. I'm Stefan, and this is Marco, and we have some.
I'm sorry.
We have some very, very fringe takes about Ultimate, which we think is needed or is necessary for people to hear them for some reason. The big egos, of course.
Obviously, yeah. So why are we showing our faces to the people at home?
So I got a suggestion from my brother that he didn't know if we were doing a live commentary, if it was just a voiceover of afterwards.
Yeah, one of our two listeners.
Yes, one of our two listeners. Shout out to my brother, Johan. Currently, I'm not going to dox him where he is. But, very cool
I'll
guy.
dox Natalie.
Yeah,
I'll dox Natalie right now.
He's got
I'm not afraid, Natalie.
He's got a YouTube channel, Sterrenjacht in Afrikaans. He does very cool photo imagery of stars and things. You should guys go if anyone's
that
out
really
there.
Cool. That actually sounds way cooler than what we're doing.
It's very.
Are
well
we the
produced.
disappointing brothers in our
By
family?
far,
Okay.
by far. But we are moving fast and breaking things.
Excellent. Yeah.
So. I think with that, we would just quickly want to do our sponsor segment.
Raid Shadow Legends!
HelloFresh as well as Manscaped.
Yeah.
If you want to get a
sponsors,
nice-
HelloFresh, Manscaped, and Raid Shadow Legends.
if your hero is feeling hungry and needs a nice close shave, just get him some HelloFresh.
Yeah, get some
Manscaped,
HelloFresh.
so you can win all the battles.
Manscaped down there.
Raid Shadow Legends. Open world MMO. This is just
We're
funny
manifesting
to us.
our sponsors here. No one's
We
sponsoring
realize this will definitely decrease the amount of listeners that we would ever have or watch.
Yeah.
So again,
Normal people skip over the ad segments and we're just like, let's see what we can.
let's see how we're going to throw away more people.
Yeah, let's
for our
turn off
cause.
more people from
Yeah.
this.
So what
podcast.
what you can expect is very low production, inside jokes that makes sense.
No
to
sense to
no one
anyone else. Yeah, or even us.
Yeah, we're just out
We're
there.
just two slightly
That is-
autistic guys having a chat. What's going on down there?
That is a spider web, I
Oh,
believe.
dang.
Shout out to Black Widows.
You drop dead during this
Yeah,
podcast.
if we happen
I'm just
to-
gonna be like, content, baby. It's going straight on YouTube.
Going on Darwin Awards.
I expect you to do the same, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll drag you over to the car and take you to the hospital.
No. Straight on YouTube. Man dies on third podcast. Clickbait the shit out of it. Stuff.
Because too, I think that's a good segue into why we're doing this. We
okay.
are a mouthpiece.
We're a propaganda machine. We've added ourselves as a propaganda machine. We hate women.
Olympic level mental gymnastics. This is how we rationalize.
Yeah,
it.
we are a propaganda machine. We hate mixed.
Poorly.
Oh, well, I'm not oiled.
I'm not even sure if it's be able to classify it as a machine. Very self-indulgent propaganda attempt.
Yeah.
As Kevin said, he's actually scared of very well-run propaganda because
Yeah, we're the opposite of well-run propaganda. No one agrees with us.
exactly.
Well, that might be changing.
Hopefully,
There's whispers around.
rumblings.
There's rumblings.
Rumblings around.
Something just bit me.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
We've got so our setup out here, I mean, not ideal,
No.
but it's I think it's a good metaphor for where we are content wise. So I think
At the bottom.
if there ever was one, we are actually shattering the glass floor in terms of
How far down?
how far down we can go. And I think at this stage we should maybe pivot into our
Okay,
topic of discussion, which
yeah,
I think
yeah,
we had earlier
yeah,
today, and
yeah.
we should have the cliff notes.
Okay.
Mixed Ultimate, the Voldemort of Cape Town. Well, in my opinion, it's that thing that no one wants to speak about.
So there's a vote up in Cape Town for continuing the open season.
Well, SAFTA.
Big
promotion.
SAFTA
Shout
promotion.
out, Travis Myberg.
Yeah.
Been on SAFTA for 6 years.
This might be the only thing he accomplishes. So we got to make this happen for Travis.
Yes.
I love Travis.
Travis, we love you.
Um,
Unironically.
yeah, both.
Fuomo.
He just got married, didn't he?
He did.
I'm proud of him. Okay, so proposal to have the first section of next year be opens instead of mixed. So we're just swapping the 2 seasons. We think it's a great idea. We're a big fan of actually just ending the mixed season, but we definitely want to make the swap. So we're
to give a bit of background, CTFTA was about to go dormant earlier this year. Mark and I were both present in the AGM, and I think everyone in that meeting was nominated to be somewhere on CTFTA to not let it go dormant, except me and Marco for some reason. Now, the word on the street at the time was that if I come anywhere near to CTFTA, I'd be running on a platform of abolishing mixed.
Yeah, our platform was pretty known, and that was mixed is done.
Yes, so just full disclosure, this is where we stand on the issue. So if we had our way, there would be no more organized mixed only. But
yes,
the reasons for that, I think we're delving into.
Yeah, we want to go over the reasons for why we're against mixed ultimate in Cape Town.
And it starts with a blank slate.
From the beginning. We're not against mixed. You're on the beach, you're with some friends, there's some guys, there's some gals, you're playing Frisbee, you want to give ultimate a shot? Have at it. We're big join ultimate people.
Yeah, the more people we can get to play ultimate, the better for everyone.
The better, yes. I do think as you start playing in the mixed scene, guys are going to get the disc a bit more than gals, and they're going to get better a little bit faster than the gals are going to get better because they're getting more touches on the disc, and eventually you're going to get a gap. And there's not necessarily a ceiling for how good the girls can get playing mixed, because we have there's girls who are fantastic mixed ultimate players. Don't get me wrong. I'm just
ultimate players
and ultimate players in general. Yeah, there's fantastic female ultimate players. I got absolutely beat by some of the pros in the U.S. on the female side training with them in Colorado Springs and just got annihilated.
Shout out to Patience.
Shout out to Patience. Shout out to Shayna Brock, who was ranked 156th on Ultiworld's mixed player tier list, right behind our boy Zach Norbaum.
The golden arm.
The golden arm. So I have changed. I edited the HTML on that page so that they were 1 and 2, but that's just, in my opinion, I don't think Ultiworld got it right. So they're fantastic women mixed players. I just think it's hard to develop as a woman in the mixed scene because you're not getting the disc very much.
Well, I believe I wouldn't say you've got a anecdotal evidence about running the program at Marty's.
Yes.
Can you maybe tell us a bit more about what happened and the insights you gained from trying to get women to play Ultimate in general?
Yeah, so I took over the Marty's team in kind of 2019 as the team manager. Wanted to really make Marty's good. We at the time were just getting dumpstered by everyone, and wanted to turn it around. And our biggest barrier was the fact that we weren't developing women well. So we had a nice pool of kind of male players to pull from, but we really only had maybe 4 or 5 female players in total. And so it was just, we're throwing those 4 or 5 out there on the line every time. They're playing Savage a lot of the time because typically only like 3 of them could make it through to Cape Town. So just really not a conducive environment for women's ultimate. And it was kind of a death spiral in terms of we'd drive them to Cape Town, they wouldn't get the disc as much. There'd maybe be some arguments or some disagreements about, are we rolling still?
Phone has not shut down. We are still rolling, I believe.
Nice.
I hope the audio is picking up. Otherwise,
awkward. We're still uploading it. It's just gonna be us with Chinese subtitles. Okay, so back to mixed ultimate at Marty's. Wasn't going well. We didn't have very many women. They weren't getting the disc a whole lot, or as much as they probably should or wanted to. we were having guys who were getting pretty good, who were kind of being held back by women who weren't developing as fast. And I was like, I got to fix something. We got to figure out a way to develop women's ultimate outside of the mixed scene. Because what was happening is these women weren't getting the disc enough. They were sort of quitting playing. So then I was going to any female friend I had, shout out Natalie.
Shout out to Natalie.
And forcing them to play ultimate against their will. They're a new player. They're coming through to Cape Town. They pretty much never get the disc. They don't really want the disc because they're completely new to the sport, and it's a panic attack to be holding the disc in the Cape Town wind and not really know how to throw. And you've got kind of 6 other people yelling at you to get the disc. So it was just a bad environment for growing the women's game. So decided to start kind of a women's only pickup. And like our first rule was it's women's only. So it's going to be women's only. No guys are allowed to show up whatsoever. So I never actually have witnessed women's pickup.
You just believe that it did happen.
I have sources, shout out to Natalie, that have confirmed that it did happen. And it grew a little bit. We got up to kind of a player pool of about 15 female players, and gave them a more comfortable space for them to enter the game. And that's not my opinion about it. That's what they have told me. And it really worked as, to sort of put it into kind of contrast. I started a res league here with the boys, and that was good stuff in terms of it was fairly easy to start. I basically handed one res a disc and was like, hey, you know that res that hates your guts? They play Frisbee too. And they were like, over my dead body, will they beat us in Frisbee?
That sounds nothing like the res culture in Stellenbosch Mock. Are you sure?
Sorry. There was only peace and happiness between the reses. They love each other. Hayes Murray and Hayes Visser just couldn't get along better on a sporting field.
Yeah, so I mean, you basically threw a bit of petrol.
Yeah.
That was already there, and it just
dumped
exploded.
A bucket full of Frisbees onto a burning pile of hatred for each other. Some may say toxic masculinity. But in doing so, brought in around 200 new male players to the Stellenbosch Frisbee community. Was not as successful on the female side working with the reses. There just wasn't that like competitive drive that I'm going to play a completely new sport in my free time against another res just because I don't like them.
That seems like the more reasonable response.
It is the more reasonable response. This is the frustration with getting women to play Ultimate in varsity, is that they are extremely logical and their frontal lobes develop, Stefan, and it's an issue.
I'm still waiting for mine to.
Okay. I'm still coming through. They make good choices. They're like, no, I need to get to bed early tonight. I can't drive into Cape Town to play your Frisbee game. No, I have a test next week. I need to study for my exam. Guys are like, I don't have a test till Wednesday. Of course I can play on Monday. Obviously. So the lack of frontal lobe develop has really helped us develop the men's game here in Stellenbosch. But to get to the females, we had to come at it with logic and reasoning, because they come at it with logic and reasoning. So we had to make it a social event. They went out for drinks afterwards. Come hang out with your buddies, go get ice cream, go out for the night, go get dinner afterwards, play a little bit of Frisbee in between. Frisbee wasn't the main attraction. I just sent Natalie in there, or Kirsten in there, with a disc to remind them every once in a while, hey, sometimes this can be fun too.
And how much time did you, in running the Maltese program, devote to growing women's as opposed to growing the men's?
I devoted the vast majority of my time to growing women's. Men's was easy. I just handed them discs, and they took off by themselves. There were other guys who, like, shout out to Johan, who helped with the men's res league. There were some, and Fonsale, and there were a lot of key players who got res league going in their res. But it was really, I just handed out some discs and they took off. We spent a lot of time and a lot of energy trying to figure out how to get female players to play. Natalie's suggestion was having Res League play shirtless, which worked a little bit.
If thinking back of the Maltese men in 2019, that
Yes.
shout out to Natalie, good suggestion.
Yes, no, we got shirtless Jock out there.
Mhm.
We got Phil shirtless, Yanamon shirtless, Fonsale, Yanni. We had some killers on the field without shirts on playing Frisbee. I think Natalie was just doing that for her own personal enjoyment. But we got female fans, not necessarily female ultimate players, but we got female fans at games, growing in numbers. I mean, there's still quite a lot of female fans at Res League games, and they play with shirts on now. Just a little bit disappointing. That's not the Maltese way.
Need to run that back. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think this is time now for the 60 seconds of cancel yourself time.
Okay.
Sponsored by Louis.
Yeah.
Louis.
Do you have a hot take here?
Yeah, I've got a very hot take here.
Okay. I'm excited.
I'm actually still forming on just how bad I'm gonna cancel myself here.
Excellent. No one's gonna watch.
Yeah.
It's just Natalie and your brother who are gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, big. I mean, my brother has no idea what's going on in Ultimate as a real life.
No one else can.
No one cares.
The audience for this is like 12 whole people.
We
just gotta get 6 of them to vote.
Minutes,
we need 6 of you to vote.
Fall swapping the seasons around.